acting tip number 11. I've had lots of inquiries and lots of questions, and one of the main ones that came up almost immediately was about marketing yourself as an actor. How do I market myself as an actor in New Zealand? Interestingly enough, the person that asked me actually didn't train in this country. Now, marketing yourself as an actor in London is such a huge part of your career. I used to have my showreel on a VHS. It was that long ago, I know. And I used to have to send out each week I'd send out about 20 VHSs to different casting people. And then I would include in that a stamped addressed envelope, which was expensive in those days. It was such a huge expense in those days when everything wasn't online. And I would ask for them to send my VHS back in a stamped addressed envelope once they'd watched it. Did I ever get one back? Well, maybe 1 out of 10 I got back because they're busy. So online is a really good thing now. This is a very important subject, and we'll be going into your showreels at a later date. But today we're going to focus on marketing yourself, because New Zealand is a small industry. There's much less people, much less TV networks, and so things work here in a different way. There's a thing in New Zealand about overexposure, about keeping yourself not too much in people's faces. So your showreel online is going to be a massively good way of you getting into the site of that casting director, showing them how talented you are and your versatility, lots of different types of parts you can play. What you don't want to do in New Zealand is turn up on people's doors, is gate crash auditions. I used to do that in London. I got 2 different theatre seasons from gate crashing. I gate crashed Pitlochry Festival Theatre, which was a 6-month contract, and I got it. So it works over there. It's quite different. Over here, you've been selected very carefully that you're from your headshot that you're right for the part, or the casting director knows you. As it's a small industry and casting people have the power to get you the auditions, what is a big no-no is seeing a casting director that you know is a casting director in a restaurant, going up and saying, what about me? Can I send you my CV? What have you got coming up? And so that doesn't happen so much here, because it's not good to be so hungry as an actor that you're so much in people's faces that they literally want to go, no, that's not cool, it's not cool. So whereas in London, in LA, there's such a massive industries, they expect the actor to be, you are your own business, they expect you to be marketing yourself. They expect to see a lot of actors' CVs and showreels on their desk. They sometimes give general castings or general auditions to see you. That doesn't happen so much over here, but it does happen. So you've got to be very careful about your marketing strategy in New Zealand. The most important thing is having such a good reel which isn't too long. So no longer than about, say 3 or 4 minutes is quite long. The casting director may watch a couple of minutes and think, that person can really act. I'll keep them in mind. They don't have to watch the whole thing. If they watch the whole thing, it's because it's really interesting. You've edited and you've done your reel so well that it's worth watching. So knowing who all the casting people are in drama, in television, if you're an experienced actor, is of course really important. You want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's actually happening. But overexposure, tall poppy syndrome, sticking your neck out is not so encouraged in New Zealand. I knew an actor who trained with me when he came to me when he was 19. He's now core-cast Shortland Street, has been for years. His name's Ben Mitchell. He plays TK on Shortland Street. And he was hungry. He was enthusiastic as an actor when he was young. After he trained with me, he did 2 years with me, 2 different 40-week courses with me, and then then I think he did another one when I first got my studio in Ponsonby. Then he went off to train with other acting teachers, which was great because he hadn't had a formalised acting training and he felt he needed more training. So he went off and got it, which was fantastic. But he used to say to me when I was doing casting, what have you got coming up? I hear this production company's doing this. Should I just turn up on their doorstep? And even though he made himself quite annoying to a few different people, his attitude, his passion, his motivation actually got him the work, and he's a full-time actor. He only came to the acting classes because his sister had seen a poster up at New World in Franklin Road, and she then decided to take up netball, so he went and came. She'd paid her fee, so he came, and he did her training instead of her. So that's an amazing thing. He started from scratch, got himself. He bounced. What calls bounced? What bouncing is you bounce from having no agent, having not much experience, to getting your training, obviously being talented and working hard. But having his training, he bounced from no agent to top agent, and he did well. All of a sudden he was being seen like he should have been seen by people casting different good stuff here. So so back to the marketing. So be very aware that it's delicate because it's a small industry. No one wants, hundreds of actors in their face because they're casting something. Like Peter Jackson's films, for example. Everyone wants to be in them, but Liz Mullane is a lovely, very powerful woman who casts Peter Jackson's films. But the last thing she wants is to be inundated with not too experienced actors or even experienced actors. It's her job to know who people are. It's her job to get the right people in for the jobs. So just be aware about self-marketing. Focus on your reel. Have a really good reel. Don't be afraid to send that reel out to casting people. When they have time, they will watch it. And if it's really good, that's what's important. Thank you.